tuning in to the very best. It's yours truly, Jazzy Fizzle, Fizzle, Fizzle. And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in. Oh boy.
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
Who is that on the radio?
You really want to know who's on the radio? Come on. Let's talk about it.
Jeffrey. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. Watching is the best decision you'll ever make. Saturdays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. Call or text in live 478-569-6474. Hashtag Let's Talk with Jeffrey. Check us out on www.instinctradio.net or download the Instinct Radio app in your Apple or your Google Play Store.
Let's give them something to talk about.
It's almost showtime, people. Let's tune in to see what Jeffrey has in store for us tonight. And here's your host, Jeffrey L. Miller.
What is going on, Instinct Radio? What's going on, Facebook Live? It is time for Let's Talk About It Live with your boy, Jeffrey L. Miller. Now, listen, in hour one, we talked to Phalo the Great and Dutch Dirty. But in hour two, we are taking it international. We are taking it worldwide. We have the incredibly talented Adina Howard on the mic with us today. Adina, how you doing today?
I'm better than good. I'm blessed. How are you?
Very well, very well. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Now, you may not know this, but in hour number two, what we do is we do a little thing called Close Your Mouth and Listen. Now, the followers out there, they've been checking us out, for a while now. They know what to expect. But Adina, you about to learn what time it is. It's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You ask me some questions. I'll give you some answers from a man's point of view. Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why each of them might be single. But here is my disclaimer. Now, what I'm about to say may not apply to you. And if it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe. But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're going to learn something tonight. Ladies, you are first. Now, ladies, you might be single, habitually single, because of your uncontrollable mouth. I need you to feel me with this one. Not your mouth that complains when something is wrong or when your man has done you wrong or you're not happy or dissatisfied. Not that mouth. I mean your uncontrollable mouth. This is an example. Your man comes home 5 minutes late in traffic. And you mad. What took you so long to get home? That's an uncontrollable mouth. The news could come on and say that the bridge on I-85 caught fire. And you calling your man and asking him where he at. Well, so the bridge on fire, you can't go south? That's an uncontrollable mouth. I need you to understand, ladies, you have the power to fill us up or to blow us off with your mouth. And I don't mean in a bad way now. I mean, you can enrich our lives. You can pour something into us that drives us and sustain us. Now, if you don't do that, I want you to understand that the cleanup woman is sitting around the corner waiting to clean up the mess you left. And because that man's going to leave your ass at home single. Adina, what do you think? I hear you laughing.
You are correct.
Ah, yes.
That's a whole lot of sense.
Absolutely.
If you're jumping to conclusions, that can really put you in a predicament in the situation.
Yes.
It's best to always ask versus bitch, moan, and complain. Because again, you never know. Somebody could have gotten in an accident. Mm-hmm. When mine comes home, we have a street that it's a two lanes.
Yes.
2 lanes going one way, 2 lanes going the other. And if there's an accident on one, in one lane, or if there's a fatality, it closes the whole highway down.
Absolutely.
So there have been times where he hasn't come home till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning.
Understood.
And it's because there was a fatality on the road. And my first thing is, okay, you're not home. Are you okay?
Right.
It's not where you at. But again, for me, it's one of those things that if you are an insecure person, male and female alike, if you're insecure, and you're doing dirt or you've done dirt, then I think that's your guilty conscience.
Absolutely.
So I agree.
Thank you very much. International agreement. Yes, we got that right here. Let's talk about it live with Jeffrey L. Miller. All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook. I need you to understand, fellas, this is why you might be single. Now, fellas, you might be single because you don't bring anything to the table. Matter of fact, you ain't got no damn table. Here's what I need you to understand. Women right now are doing it. They've been doing it for decades. Now, if you come to this woman and you bring little or nothing to the table, she is not looking to have you hitch onto her wagon. I need you to understand. Women right now are the most educated, most dynamic, most business savvy people out there, bar none. So if you don't come with any liquor sense, if you don't bring any value to the table, why would you expect her to get with you? Now, let's be real. Now, you might be bringing that wood, and she may have you in her roster, but that's about all you gonna be. I need you to understand something, fellas. If you come correct to the right woman, even the most independent woman, once you have earned her trust, will follow your lead. But you got to put in the work. Right now, brothers, we're stepping to these women without a table, without the willingness to work, and we will end up staying single. Adina, what do you think?
I'm all about assets and not liabilities.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I feel you. I feel you. I feel you.
So, yeah, I think that, it's one thing to come to the table and not have anything, but you have a dream.
Yes.
And you're working towards that dream.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to support and be there for that person, that man in your life,
mm-hmm.
because you would want, as a woman, for if you have a dream that you're working on, making a reality, you would want that support system.
Yes.
So it's one thing to come to the table and you have a dream and you're working towards it. And it's another thing to just want to sit on your butt because, your mama raised you in such a manner that she did everything for you. And now you feel like, you want somebody like your mother who's going to cook, clean, and do things for you, while you're just sitting on your butt.
Yes.
So like I said, I'm all about an asset and not a liability. If you're a liability, you can't be around me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that feedback.
Male or female alike, for that matter.
Oh, you get the bell again. This is a record. Now, you've gotten the bell more than most people get in a whole 2 hours in, less than 15 minutes. You are off the chain, I tell you what. Now, listen, everybody, I need you to understand who we're talking to tonight. We are talking about 5 studio albums, gold, platinum selling, award-winning Adina Howard. Now, Adina, tell me this now. You've been in the game since the mid-90s. And you have a new project that just came out. I just want to ask, how have you been able to sustain your success for so long when we see people come and go overnight, it seems, in the industry?
Favor.
Oh,
and
yes.
and not focused on being relevant. Focusing on being relevant is irrelevant to me.
Yes.
When it's all said and done, if it's meant for me to be, I will be. Mm-hmm. I just focus on doing what it is I've been called to do and leaving the trivial stuff to those who want to focus on it. So I sow my seed, do my work,
yes,
and produce as they've asked me to do. And I bring what I bring to the table.
Understood. Now, when you first came into the industry, you hit us hard, right? It's like, the first single you dropped, I can play it right now, and people will come inside the building and start jamming. Freak Like Me just set it off. You started a trend that has, quite frankly, is still going on today in a different iteration, but it's still going on. That's what you did, and you ought to be commended on that. Let me ask you, what was your reaction when you first heard yourself on the radio?
I got hyped and excited, and then I had to bring it down because it was on a Los Angeles radio station, and they were doing Make It or Break It. And the Make It or Break It is either we're going to, get the votes to keep pushing this song,
right,
or break it where nobody's feeling it, and then, it's a wrap.
Understood.
And at that point, when it was like, this is a new Make It or Break It song, blah, 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 I was just like, calm down, hold up, wait a minute.
Okay.
Because just because you're getting hyped doesn't mean that people like it. So I it was like short-lived in that moment. But I was excited.
Understood. Now, I tell you what, we got a couple of clips from your new project called Resurrection. We're going to play those shortly. I got a few more questions. Now, today we're talking about breakups. And we're going to talk about on the second half of the hour, we're going to talk about, some of the things we see around breakups. But I'd like to get your input. Tell us about your worst breakup? Either you caused it or somebody broke up with you, as much as you care to share.
I don't, if that's so, well, I'm trying to think of my worst breakup. I've had more situationships than relationships.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that, though. I appreciate that. You can appreciate where you are now after all those situationships, though, right?
Absolutely.
Good deal.
And none of them have really been like this, like massive, explosion or implosion. I'm not one for a lot of drama, so it's difficult to say my worst breakup. They've all been painful. I think it's all relative. I think it depends on what you invest in it. And I have a tendency to be a saboteur.
Okay.
So I pretty much know when my shit is going to go crazy. So I kind of prepare for it, even though there's some emotion in it.
Yes.
I pretty much prepare myself knowing that we are on the outs.
Got it.
So,
Got it.
and I know what that stems from. So, I do self-analysis, self-therapy, and a lot of times I put myself in situations where they're not going to last because I really don't want them to.
Got it. So you're basically making your escape plan when you see those signs, just then you work your plan.
There you go.
Yes, we're ringing the bell on that one.
The plan was already worked in the process.
Okay.
I was just waiting to get to the finish line.
I'm going to ring the bell again. I'm right there with you. Good deal. Now, let's talk about Resurrection. First of all, tell me about this project and what really inspired you to put this project together.
Oh, my gosh. This project was inspired by the journey that I'm on in this moment of my life.
Yes.
I have overcome a lot. I'm a survivor. I am victorious.
Yes.
And a lot of the things that I used to do, I no longer do. A lot of the people that I used to hang around, I don't hang around. The successes that I used to have, they're great to reminisce on. But when it's all said and done, the only thing that matters is today, right now, in this present moment.
Absolutely.
And I really wanted to focus on my current journey, love, rising above the obstacles that I've had to encounter personally and professionally. This album is basically a testament, autobiography.
Yes.
Of, again, like I said, where I am right now.
Understood.
And I really just wanted people to know who Adina Howard is in this moment right here. And the Resurrection album actually does that.
Good deal. I appreciate that feedback. Now, one of my favorite songs is Radiation. Now, we're going to play that clip in just a moment, but tell me about Radiation. I mean, when I tell you that song is just hot, I mean, I almost turned around and just went on home when that song came on. I'm just going to tell you. I was like, we'll do this later. I got something to do after I heard this one.
That's what's up.
But I want to play that one soon, but tell me about Radiation most specifically.
Oh my gosh. Radiation is such a chill, easy breezy song. It's a song that you can just relax and get in the zone with. It's really just talking about how I've elevated spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, how I've evolved as a spiritual being, as a human being. And my favorite rapper that is walking this planet right now, I had the opportunity to get him on it, which is Tech Nine.
Okay.
And to me, he was just the icing and the cherry on my cake. So this song is just, it oozes just a sensual, spiritual nature it's really difficult to explain. You have to hear it in order to get what I'm talking about. Okay.
What we're going to do, this is from The Resurrection. It just came out in 2017. This is Adina Howard. This is one of my favorite tracks from the album. This is Radiation. Let's take a listen to it. You're going to like this one. It is off the chain.
Thank you.
It's like meditation. So untouchable. touch with my inner goddess right now. At the celebration, I'm just too fly right now for your limitations. I'm not gonna let you kill the vibe right now with your hateration.
So I need you outside, motherfucker.
I can leave my moment waiting. So pull me up one time, everybody, it's a celebration. Cause we about to get it right now, they in admiration. As the 808s drive, tell me, can you feel the radiation? From the hottest chick in the room right now, it's like radiation. Can you feel it? It's like, it's like, it's like, it's like radiation. It's like, it's like, it's like, it's like, it's like radiation. Can you feel it? It's like, can you feel it? It's like, it's like radiation. It's like, it's like, it's like, it's like, I can see your hesitation.
Yes.
Just another broad right now in the situation. Dark shades can't save it from my eyes.
There you go. I saw you getting it in like, ow. Thank you. Yeah. There you go. Or if you don't have either one, just chill by yourself. Sometimes you have to be your own best company. Yeah. I am a beast in the kitchen. A beast. I think I cook better than I sing. Oh yes. Oh yes. I will slay in the kitchen. And there's something about, part of being in the entertainment industry is that narcissism, that immediate gratification. And food does it for me. It's that immediate gratification. Food is another form of seduction. You've always heard the way to get to a man's stomach, to his heart, is through his stomach. And I'm able to seduce individuals with my food. And in addition to not just getting to you through your ears, I can get inside you and stay with you for a while. And even when you're sitting on the toilet to push me out, it's still gonna feel good at that moment too. You know what I'm saying? I'm there from the beginning all the way to the end. To the tutor, yes. Yes. Oh yeah, I think so. Yes. Okay.
Shorty like a battle with the lights on. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. Shorty like a battle with the lights on. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. We can make it nasty till the day, until the dawn. Make it nasty, and baby we can make it nasty through the night till the early morn. Make it nasty, baby make it nasty. I'll take you to my crib, give you what you need. Make it nasty, and baby we can make it nasty. Time of day, it's all good for me. Make it nasty, make it nasty. Freak in the morning, freak in the evening, just like me. I need a nasty brother that can satisfy me, just for me. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I know what to do to make it nasty. I know what to say to make it nasty. If you're gay, boy, I'm gonna make it nasty. But I only make it nasty for daddy. I finally got some time, yeah, to grind, yeah. Tell my guys on the side, yeah, goodbye, yeah. You've been all up on my mind, yeah. When you finally hit my line, yeah. We can make it nasty. If you're that kind of man, 'cause I'm that kind of girl. I got a nasty secret, everybody sing, 'cause we don't give a damn about a thing.
I can hear you, but I can't see you, and you're kind of breaking up if you're talking to me.
She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. Shorty like a battle with the lights on. She know what to do when the lights go off. She's nasty, I tell ya. She's nasty, I tell ya. Make it nasty till the day, until the dawn.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into the very best. It's your
I'm
shooter
still
Jazzy
here.
Fizzle. And this is in-state radio,
Can you hear me?
man.
I can hear you, but I can't see you now.
I'm coming up. All right, all right.
Here we go.
All right, now check it out now. There's a part in Nasty where you throw it back to Freak Like Me. That's hot. That's hot.
Thank you.
And you do it in a way that's, it's evocative, but it's still real smooth. You do it in a little bit of a different way, and you keep it fresh. And I can appreciate when an artist can, tip the cap to where they've been without sacrificing where they are right now. Some people never move beyond that one thing, but I'm pleasantly surprised to see the growth. I love it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
All right, now we're just about done with our time with Adina Howard. There was one song that just jumped out at me. The song is Blasphemy. Now, the thing that I enjoyed is the messaging behind it. There are things that we get thrown at us every day. But in this song, I saw some things. I'm like, you know what? I can appreciate that because, like I was saying earlier, every artist has many layers. Sometimes the record label won't show you the other layers. So I love it when I get a chance to see that the artist is multifaceted, first of all, and then they're very flexible. So we're gonna listen to Blasphemy, and then come back and talk about that track.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
Whatever happened to the times when we cared for one another? We shared the same respect. What is happening? We're trading what's important for shiny things. I can't allow this blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Why would you treat yourself like that? Stop all that blasphemy. We didn't come this far just to fall right back. We call that blasphemy. Where I'm from, don't lose yourself. Stay on track. Baby, you're a god. You're a god. Baby, you're a god. Believe that. Full of the things that we've overcome. Full of unspoken battles we won. You're so much better than that. Sometimes the truth ain't always catchy as rap. Stop chasing cheese or you get stuck in a trap. Go get your crown and never render it back. No, it's blasphemy.
Listen, now, if people really listen to that song, they'll hear, historical references to prominent songs that everybody in our community should know. And that was one of the things that jumped out at me. You're referencing, icons in our community. That those are things that are important, especially for the youth. So tell me what your thought process or your creative process was when you put together Blasphemy.
I was sitting in the studio with this young king. His name is King. He goes by King Gas. And he and I were sitting in the studio, and I was like, you know what? I want you to do a song called Blasphemy. And he was like, well, elaborate. I said, you know, the way that our men address our women and the way that our men address our men is disrespectful. Our youth carrying themselves the way that they're carrying themselves is disrespectful. It's blasphemy. It's, we are gods and goddesses. We are kings and queens. We are greatness manifested. The divine did not make any mistakes on us. Our story is our story. However, what we know is not how we began. And I think because we don't know who we are, so to speak, we have fallen into this pattern of blasphemous talk. You know, hoes, bitches, this, that, and the third, and, you know, nigga, and it's like, come on. I get it. I use the word nigga, you know, but at this point, I've gotten to a point where I don't even address us, my kings, our kings, as I call white folk, everybody else, they niggas. But when it comes to, I be looking at Trump like, that nigga there is tripping. So I've gotten away from using that, referencing our men, to referencing the foolery of other individuals. And I just recognized that there was something that we were missing that we needed. And being that music, messages and music tend to be absorbed and accepted a lot more and a lot quicker.
Yes.
I figured I would use this platform, and specifically that song, as edutainment. To say, look, recognize that you are greater than your circumstance and greater than the story that they want to continue to tell us about ourselves. You know, our ancestors were enslaved. They weren't born slaves. And for those who were born into bondage, yeah, you can say that, but that's not how our story started.
Right, absolutely.
And let's not allow that to be our ending. And so to really start to shift the process of thinking to say, okay, if you think better about yourself, then you will do better with, you know, loving yourself more and treating others with respect. And I just felt like it was necessary to have that song and then to have that visual go along with it, to say, okay, let's look at the, you know, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Let's not even talk about, you know, white cops, you know, killing us. Let's just talk about the mere disrespect every single day that we display towards one another, colorism, you know, sexism, those type of things within our communities that need to be addressed. Because until we address those things within our community, everything else outside of our communities is a moot point. We have to clean our house up first before we can ask somebody to start helping us clean up our yard.
Fair enough. Powerful words. Now, listen, we're coming to the end of our time with Adina Howard. Now, I need you to understand something. This is what happened when we begin to really examine who we are and when we allow ourselves to grow. This is an individual who has stepped into and is stepping deeper into who she really is as a person and as a blessed individual. Now, I want everybody to understand we all have the same opportunity to do that. It's just when we decide to do it. Do we wait till we're sick? Or do we do these things while we're up and healthy? Now, I'm not going to get too deep with that because I want to take these last couple of minutes with you to ask you two more questions. Next question. What's coming up? How can people see you? How can people follow you? What you got coming up on your schedule?
Oh my goodness. So Thursday I am going to London, UK, because I have a performance out there. And then on the 28th, I will be in Birmingham, UK, because I'll be doing the M-Visa Awards, performing there. I get back and I'll be in Buffalo, New York, possibly performing with a live band.
Good deal.
Then there's shows coming up in Sacramento, California. Where else am I going? Possibly Omaha, Nebraska, and some other places. So, like, my schedule is ridiculously busy.
Good deal.
However, if anybody wants to keep track of where I'm going and what I'm doing, they can follow me on social media, like you said, AdinaHoward.com. Facebook is Adina Howard. Instagram, The Real Adina Howard. Snapchat, Adina Howard. And Twitter, Adina Howard. So they can follow me on all of that.
Perfect. All right, now, I kind of stole some of the thunder when I asked you to talk about your cooking. Last question. What would surprise your fans and your followers to know about you?
Oh, my gosh. That I'm a sweetie pie. I am a very humble person.
All right.
People are really actually very shocked when they meet me. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so down to earth. You're so sweet." Because I really do take the time to love on those who really would like to meet me.
Yes.
I used to be a fan of someone's. I'm still a fan of some people out here in the music industry. Young, old, and in between. And so I think they're very surprised when I will actually take the time to have a conversation with them, and I tend to, end up speaking life into them, because a lot of times what happens when I'm speaking to certain people, because I am a vessel being used, I will get a message, periodically for someone that I'm talking to, and I have to deliver that message. So that tends to shock them too.
Understood. All right, listen, everybody, I need you to recognize we have spent time speaking to the Adina Howard. And what we've discovered, and this was something we discovered together, there is much more to this young lady right here than you thought. I challenge you that you get to know her. You become a new fan again of hers. If you've never heard her music, listen to her music, but also recognize the music is just the surface. That's just on the top. As you've heard, she gets a whole lot deeper. So don't get it twisted. This is the queen in all shapes and forms that we just spent the last 30 minutes talking to. I'd like to thank you for coming on Instinct Radio and for talking to me on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller. I really appreciate that.
Thank you. It's very humbling to be a part of this situation. I'm very honored that you wanted to speak to me, because when it's all said and done, you didn't have to choose to speak to me. So I'm humbled and I'm grateful and thankful for this opportunity to share time and space with you and to be able to promote what I have going on. So thank you for the platform.
You are welcome. And anytime we can support you, just let us know. We'll be glad to work with you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Now send me some oxtails. How about that?
Oh, baby, you must be present to win, and I'm a beast.
I'm going to ring that bell on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Adina Howard. We thank you so much. Give us 5 minutes. We'll be right back right here on Let's Talk About It Live with Jeffrey L. Miller every Saturday from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. on Instinct Radio. 5 minutes. We're right back at you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuning into the very best.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
And this is Instinct Radio, man. Tune in, baby. Oh, boy.
All right.